So we must understand kindly that depression and anxiety is a suffering caused by unconsciousness. It may be discoursed as being emotional, sort of a kind of a chemical imbalances and all kinds of gross readings that kind of level of intelligence can gather only based on matter and biology. All sufferings are created in the mind, unconsciously, and so are all happiness are called created, however short-lived the happiness are. But this happiness creator, even though succeeded to create a temporal happiness, little they do know that that happiness itself is impermanent. When they lose the thought, lose the object or subject, what they thought was cause of happiness, it was, but only then, only for then, but not there afterwards. It may turn exactly opposite, particularly if you want to develop attachment to it. What was cause of happiness was only for then, but not thereafter. It's just like the milk, it's best before. But best before means worse after. But at least we know nowadays how to mark our food. Only if we could mark our thoughts, what is best, only up till such after that it will be cause of attachment, possessiveness, resentment, guilt, unrealistic expectation, all these things. We are not consciously aware that I'm actually holding a expired thought. Not only thought is expired, but the subject itself is irrelevant, it's not true, invalid. When people are feeling sad and unworthy and therefore feel unuseful and don't like themselves or everything they are doing or what they have done or who they have or whatever, these are all, once upon a time where there were love or happiness or friendship or gain or profit or promotion. But they were only promotion for a while, but didn't stay long. But they were friendship for a while, but not stay long. Nothing does, by the way. No milk is forever, even the long life ones. When you think what is short-lived as long-lived, and even everlasting one, and holding it with this unconsciousness, it becomes poison. It becomes cause of suffering. It's called mental poison. It's called klesha in Buddhism. Klesha means affliction. It obscures the consciousness of the mind, person, and not able to recognize that as that, and then misidentify something for another. Because of this, the mind is not aware of its own thoughts, its own emotions, its own validation of something. Maybe you thought you'd be happy if you had this, but how long would it last? Buddhist philosophy says that everything is impermanent. By being able to adopt that as a philosophical kind of viewpoint, you don't have to take it for long, but for a couple of weeks try that. See whether by knowing that everything is transient and impermanent, whether it helps you to let go things, particularly when it expires, if not before. When you can use things before it expires, have a nice feeling. But when you have only half used the milk, but the half milk is still there, but dates expired. So you have to throw that milk with some kind of a loss, disappointment. Oh, I shouldn't have got this much milk. Oh, I should have used. You get cranky at yourself. Not just one, not just over that, number of issues. Now the accumulation of blames, anger, and so on piles up to the mind to the extent of almost hating oneself for not doing everything right. But when the consciousness is not aware that fundamentally everything is impermanent, so the object or subject that we think is cause of happiness is only for that moment maybe. You order a nice dessert, but then you went to the toilet and took 20 minutes to get back, and then, you don't have to go to the toilet again because the food has become toilet. The dessert you paid for, but you didn't have time to eat, and it has melted. And see, nothing is for long. So all suffering of depression and anxiety and anger and guilt all comes from this wrong view, wanting to hold things to be permanent. So Buddhist teaching means it shows us It shows us the right way to think, so that if things are impermanent, say if you lost the job, or someone died, or you lost a position, or you no longer have the same fitness or health or whatever you have, you shouldn't think it as a personal tragedy, because it is not. It is nature for all things. It happens to everyone. Why? Because it's impermanent. You don't have to be a subscriber to impermanence, then affects you. And if you don't subscribe, it doesn't affect you. It's not like that. See, this is the law. This is the law, truth. Buddha taught this kind of truths. Belief in heaven or hell are not important. But yet people, if they did something wrong, they think they go to hell. Why do they have to believe they will have to go to hell when they're already in it? See, thinking bad thoughts and untrue thoughts is already hellish. So people are basically making their time to be depressed like hell. If you tell the story about hell being, it's really depressing. But yet people are thinking that to the extent of whole, maybe a couple of hours or whole afternoon or a couple of days in a row, they're thinking over it and brooding such negative thoughts as if it has never happened to anyone but me, and this will never change, will it? No, it will not change. You know, as if everything has, whatever one has seen in life has not changed. So the first Buddhist response to deal with depression and anxiety is to understand whatever matter about which you are depressed or whatever, you've got to know that all subject and objects are impermanent. They never are and will be same. So thinking they are or they will be is exactly going against the tide. So that's the wrong view. This is the un-Buddha. This is the unconsciousness. This is the ordinary deluded mind thinks such wrong views and embraces those views as correct. And then believes that somebody doesn't love me or nobody cares about me. All these wrong views are sedimented. Even bricks are sedimented, sand, you know. There is no real brick there. They're just particles rammed together and fired, and then it becomes a brick. There is actually no brick in the brick. So there's a lot of hard-line views about what happened to me, that what shouldn't happen to me, and so on. All these views that actually goes against the reality. So first, that is very important. I always treat that this understanding of one of the what we call seals of the Dharma. Seals meaning that which actually holds you and helps you. When you remember impermanence, it really makes you to think sanely and have power to let go, power to forgive, power to be kind, and so on. Otherwise, you keep holding yourself and taking yourself back into the past. We are not present. And what is the seal about this is that it makes you stay present. It makes you to stay in the present. You see? Because depression is usually all about past. Past is not a time we have. Only what we are losing, what we are unconsciously giving it to the past. That is present, you know. So we are actually losing our present time to the past by believing as something is real and permanent, and this hasn't happened before, why is it happening to me? As if one is trying to over-personalize one's difficulties too much. Another factor of the Buddhist response to suffering in general and depression, anxiety is, Buddhist teaching we don't use statistics to say, oh, there's 1 in 5 suffers from depression. That's terrible. We say 100 in 100 suffer from depression. That's Buddhist view. You may not like to, among others who are not diagnosed with the depression may disagree with that. But we are among the many we all have some kind of depression and sadness.